Welcome to this episode of the Profitable Home Services Podcast. We're so glad you're joining us today. And today, our guest is Bill McGowan from PrintFast. So if you look at us geographically, Bill and I are almost as far apart as you can get, as I'm in Northern Idaho and he's over in New Jersey. But Bill and I met several years ago at a couple events, and I was amazed and impressed with the way he's such a giver, and he's so helpful. And he took me under his wing way back then when I wasn't sure what I was doing, and helped me feel comfortable in a setting that was very not comfortable for me. And so with that, I'm going to tell you a little bit about PrintFast. At PrintFast, the difference is their experience. Since 1903, they've been creating printed products on time and on budget every time. From your first call, you'll feel their friendly approach to the printing process. You're working with professionals who take the anxiety out of printing. Let their knowledge and expertise guide you through the many stages of creating your marketing material or direct mail campaign. Yes, designing and manufacturing a custom-made product may seem overwhelming, but for them, it's what they do every day. And it's the same is true for their websites and online services, such as SEO and social engagement. They promise that they'll make it easy for you. As Bill is a third-generation owner, you have his personal guarantee that you'll be thrilled not only with their level of communication and service, but also with the quality of their products. So please feel free to call their highly qualified team to discuss your next project, or you're welcome to call Bill. He's happy to speak with you in regard to your next project. So Bill, welcome to the program.
Hey, Diane, thanks for having me.
That's a very impressive bio. I did not realize you were third generation.
Yeah, I got some stories about the family, but yeah, we're third generation.
Not too many businesses make it to a third generation. I think the chances of that are pretty slim.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But I know that you do amazing work because I had the privilege of getting to see samples of some of the things that you guys had created back at some of the events that we've attended together.
You know, printing is a commodity. It's just ink on paper. And we're judged solely against other printing companies by our price.
Ooh.
And that's okay, because in the triple tier of quality, service, and price is not our number one. It's a good consideration. We're always competitive, but it's not our focus. If you want cheap printing, you'll get poor quality. Where our emphasis is on service and quality. And I've always said people buy from people. They don't buy from companies. And that's why we have certain things here, like we don't have auto attendants on the phone. That when you dial in and you listen to recording because the options have changed. Number 3 is customer service. Number 5, we don't do that. A live person picks up the phone within 2 rings. And people always say, well, Bill, what's your extension? Just ask for Bill, they'll find me. We try to treat people as we want to be treated, and that's very common. So we take a lot of that front brick and mortar from this company, and you're buying from someone you just haven't really met yet. We keep it friendly. We keep it informal. We don't talk over their heads with terminology. That's what we do in the back of the building. That's where the ink hits the paper and everything else. Because paper comes in the door on pallets and it goes out the door, either to the post office to be a direct mailer or shipped directly to a client. That's what we do. But on the front end of the experience, it's people. We're all first names. We deal very friendly. And we try to take that pressure off. And I really think we do a good job at that.
And if I remember right, I believe you specialize in working with home service businesses.
That's true. Since 1994, we fell into this niche of home service providers. And that's usually HVAC, plumbing, electrical, but we're sort of branching out into roofing, window siding, some landscapers and garage door replacement companies, because we find a common theme in reaching conversion with homeowners. They all need to do something to their home, which is what's called a grunge purchase. For instance, if their water heater goes out, you're going to ask them to spend $1,000 or $2,000 and be no better off after they spent the money than before the water heater broke. It's still hot water. They're not happy about it. It's not like they went on a trip to Italy or they went out for a great meal, or they bought a beautiful new car in the driveway. Those are very rewarding and fulfilling. But spending all that money and just having your water back again, no one's happy. So part of the communication, using whatever the media, whether it's a postcard or a brochure or a website or a social post, it's to make the conversion process easier. And that's all the form of marketing, getting the homeowner to know, like, and trust you, to spend the money, not exactly freely, but with less anxiety in making the purchase, that they know they're doing the right thing. And that's pretty much, again, what we do in the behind team, the creative writing, the creative design, because our clients come to us and say, I'm an HVAC company. They're the last person who should be writing copy for their brochure. They're the last. We have a very good sensibility because homeowners are homeowners, whether in the Miami or Seattle, Los Angeles, Portland, Maine, they're all homeowners. Seasonality, weather, temperatures, yes, there are some swings there, but they're all the same. And they all spend money the same way. So if we know who we're talking to, we know what to say. So you just tell us what furnaces you want to specialize in or what discounts you want to offer, and we do the rest. And that's part of what we feel separates us. Just come to us with a concept, we'll do it all.
Wow, that's really nice that you've got that good of a trying to think of the word, just a take on that industry, where so many other printing companies are servicing everybody. So they really aren't becoming the specialists that you guys have become.
Yeah, there is such a common theme that we see in homeowners' needs. And when we get feedback from our clients, again, no matter where they are in the country, you see the same response rates based on either how much they earn, because we always qualify our prospects by how much they earn. Do they live in a single family residence, not detached or multifamily dwelling? Are they the decision maker? So once I know who I'm speaking to and I know how much money you can spend with less discretion, now I know what to say. So again, typical plumber, when they come to us, just tell us what you're doing. Drain cleaning, $89? Okay, I'll take it from there and I'll tell you what you should say to get good success. So we're sort of the funnel, because we hear all of these things. My job, I talk to owners all day long, nationwide, and I hear what works, what doesn't work. And we sort of funnel it down to these common themes, and we share that experience with our clients. Now, we don't force them to take it. We just say, hey, look, we heard that this $89 drain cleaning special with a 5-year no clog guarantee, it's not reasonable. I get it. I know $89 just to bring the truck in the driveway. But you know what? Here's how it works out down the line, and you'll own the home. So again, our experience is shedding light onto these people. And if they agree, they agree. Some people don't.
I know that you're big into building the relationship with the customer. That just comes from my conversations with you in years past, where you've talked about helping that plumber, that electrician, whoever that might be, build out their relationships. What are some of the ways that you guys can help in that area?
Well, here's the thing. I'm passionate about marketing, and I will coach any business owner as much as he's willing to listen. And I always tell them, you're free to hang up the phone on me if I go on too long, but I'll go on for a long time. But I'll always tell them that there's 3 stages to every business. They are all equally important: the before, during, and after. Before is prospecting, identifying your best prospects, either by zip code, but again, we know that they're homeowner, they live in the home, single family detached, and how much they earn. The matter of how many cars they have, kids, credit rating, it usually doesn't come into play. When the water heater goes out, it goes out. When there's no heat, there's no heat. I don't care about a lot of those things. Credit rating comes up if you have great financing, but if you offer great financing, but typically we're looking for just how much do you earn, where do you live, are you the decision maker? And that's the key to prospecting. The middle portion, the during, is how you treat them. Now, how you treat every homeowner is really how you're going to build your brand. If you walk in the door and the dog runs out, you're already in a bad place. So you better walk in with, disposable booties on your feet so you don't mess up their carpets. And you look at the homeowner and they see your ID badge and you look down to make sure the cat or the dog's not going to run out, and you get in the door. There's a whole series of things that should happen. I always tell people it's like a screenplay. And I've actually had a couple of clients ask me if I would coach their team members, because there's a logical sense in what you say and what you do and how you do it that will lead to not only the successful repair or scheduling of the HVAC repair, but it will get you back for the rest of your life, or at least as long as the homeowner lives there. But there's lots of coaching organizations that will teach you how to do that. But there is a logical sense of that during stage. Mm-hmm. The after stage, this is what blows me away. Why does every home service professional think, oh, I went into the Smith's house in 2021 and I replaced their furnace. They'll call me if they need me. Oh, no, they won't. So I always say, if you forget them, they're going to forget you. I promise you, they won't remember the name of your company a year down the road. Even if you put stickers all over the furnace, they're not going to remember the name of your company. But the same time that you've totally ignored them, you don't send them any literature, you don't keep them on a mailing list, you don't do anything, your competition's constantly knocking on your door, on their door. So that after stage is really the most critical stage in the relationship. Don't let them go. Just keep them in the loop. And that's where you're really going to have the best way to build your company. You've all heard the cliche. It's less expensive to retain a client than to find a new one. And yet, we offer programs to support them. Thank you card programs. It's heartbreaking to me. It really is how few people use them.
Yeah. Thank you cards are definitely a proven marketing tool in probably every industry.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's a little hard on retail because you don't know the person's information, but any type of a service industry where we're collecting that data, to not send a thank you card, to not put them on a newsletter list, and those types of things, that is sad too. Not taking advantage of that.
I mean, we have our lowest priced product is a 5.5 by 8.5 postcard that's fully customizable with the homeowner's name and when you were there and what you did and how much it cost. It's a complete collection of everything that was done. So it's variable data printing. That's what it's called. It costs 74 cents, including postage.
How could you not?
I'm speechless. They can't spend 74 cents to send a thank you card a week after you were in the home.
Yeah, that's huge. Right.
It's crushing to me.
Right.
So those are how you really can embrace a family. And we always see this as a relationship with not just the equipment, but with the family. You're bringing, comfort and safety to them, and, understanding that you're going to be the only person they're going to call. And when they call you, they are in need. They're not calling you to say, hey, what the heck? I want a new air conditioner. They're going to call you when it's broken and this grunge purchase comes up and they know it's going to be 15 grand. They're calling you in pain. I sometimes laugh and stop me if I get off topic. When we build websites for our clients, they build this beautiful, shiny website. I've got 3,000 trucks and 100 employees. Homeowner doesn't care.
No.
They landed on your site because they're in pain. Mm-hmm. How fast in that above the fold, before they have to scroll, how fast can you get them to schedule a call 24/7, 365, and a nice picture of a homeowner with your truck in the driveway, not your beautiful 40,000 square foot building. They're jealous. If anything, you're building jealousy. Oh God, this guy's got money. He's a big fancy operator. He's going to be expensive. No, the truck in the driveway of a house, homeowner with the open door and a big smile. The guy walks up the driveway with the tool bag. That's what they want.
That's what they want.
Oh,
yes.
So trying to get that message across to someone who's obviously proud about the building, the trucks, the employees, it's not what homeowners want. So we share our experience. Sometimes their pride wins out and the website's got a picture of the building. I'm not buying the building.
No.
How do I get to the scheduling port? Anyway.
Yeah. And I think you could use that analogy in any type of these service businesses, whether you're a roofer, plumber, HVAC, electrician, landscape, it doesn't matter. That homeowner wants to know, are you friendly? Are you going to show up on time? Are you going to do the job, what you said you would do and do it correctly? Or am I going to have to chase you down and call you back a bunch of times to get it finished?
I mean, the home service industry is notorious for being populated by a bunch of bad operators.
Mhm.
People come into the home and do damage or don't show or don't do what they say, or perform poorly and don't exactly replace the equipment with new or the correct. So, I mean, the whole industry is under a big cloud. And that's what's so thrilling for us when we do take on a new client that has a number of 5-star reviews. So we know we're in the right place ethically, because we're going to pull out all the stops to support you. But if I see that you've got a 3.8 average on Google, I talk to my team and I say, what are we going to do? There's nothing we can do. And you look at the reviews and no response from the homeowner. And some of the reviews from some of these clients are pretty spicy, if you know what I mean. I was just like, there's almost nothing we can do. They come to us and say, please get our Google ranking up, our organic ranking. I can't, there's nothing I can do to get your reviews up. That's an honest reflection of what you do. And if you expect me to save a sinking ship, I can't, I really can't. But when we see, 4.8, 4.9 Google reviews, we're thrilled to jump in, whole team, wholehearted. Let's all paddle and let's get this guy on the first page of an organic review and stop paying pay-per-click. We do it all the time.
So to be able to accomplish moving up and holding that 4.8, 4.9, 5.0 type review, how important is it to have a marketing plan of some sort to accomplish this?
It's everything, The business owner, we've always heard, he wears many hats. He wears thousands of hats. Let's face it. You're an owner, I'm an owner. I know what it's like. There is no moment that you're awake and suddenly like, oh, got to do that tomorrow, quick. Where's my phone? Make a note, put it on the calendar. It's constant. But we're not in pain. I enjoy what I do. You enjoy what you do. So any HVAC owner has all of these responsibilities. And if he thinks he's going to go in and hopefully all the guys show up and all the trucks go out and they all have the parts and they all get to the homeowners, and at the end of the day, all the trucks come back, no one got hurt, none of the trucks got into an accident, all the homeowners were happy, and now we ended another day. It's everything but that. That's probably 20% of their day. It's everything else. It's looking at the growth of the business in the before, during, and after stages. It's considering everything else. It's considering liability. It's considering everything else, HR, all about your team. There's so many different things that are all happening at the same time. And unless you're a very, very, very large company that can delegate out either directors, managers, or whatever you want to call them, supervisors, you never really walk away from that responsibility. Because bottom line, if one of your trucks runs a red light, let me tell you, the owner, you're right in there, right from the go. So you've got all of these things in your mind. And marketing is a big part of it. Because in HVAC, home service, there's seasonality in HVAC, not in roofing or windows or siding. Yes, in landscaping. But there's this tremendous swing in HVAC. In the winter, it's cold. You know it's coming. Your phones are going to ring off the hooks. You don't need anybody to call you. The only people calling you in the winter are the people you've never served before, who their existing service provider can't get to them. So now they're just running down the Google list, hoping somebody will come and turn the heat back on because they got a baby. You don't need work. Do you stop marketing in January, December? Oh, absolutely not. And the same thing in the summer. Phones ringing off the hooks, June, July, August, September. You can't stop your marketing. My best clients start calling me in July and they say, what are your postcard designs for the fall? I want the first postcard to hit the first week of September. When the kiddos are back to school, I have to start knocking on the doors because my shoulder seasons in the fall and in the spring, I can't keep my guys busy. And they're cross-trained to do electrical inspections, maybe, or drain inspections. I just want to keep them employed. I got a great team. So this marketing is a 12-month deal. And yes, okay, January, February, March, maybe you push some of that budget to March, and the June, July, September, you're going to push a little more to September. But you have to constantly be asking for work. As I said earlier, if you forget them, they'll forget you. In marketing, in sending thank you card, you got to do it constantly. You can't stop. And you and I just discussed something very briefly before we came onto the call, that when you get busy, that's the first thing you forget. And you can't. It's this constant 12-month schedule, whether you have time or not, you've got to do it. And it's part of the job that I don't like, is that, when we're busy, when we get those phone calls in December, well, I should say it this way, when I start getting the phone calls in September and October, and the service providers, HVAC team, it's like, Bill, how do I turn the phones on? How do I make them ring? It's just, I wish I could. I always say direct mail or social postings, it's not like walking into a room flipping on the light. If you're prospecting, I have to drop probably 5 postcards to a homeowner before they'll even say, I think I recognize that green and yellow logo. I think I've seen that before. You may have sent them 4 postcards before the 5th. You hope they remember you once. I always say, it's funny, you walk into 7-Eleven, how many times do you see the Coca-Cola logo? Probably hundreds. It's on the door sticker that says enter. It's hanging from the little swingers from the ceiling. It's on the straws, it's on the machine, it's on the cups, it's on the lids, it's on the wall. Why? Not that you don't know the name Coke and it's red and white, because they don't want to see the P word. They don't want to see Pepsi. So they spend millions making sure you don't see the other guy. But we all know what Coke is and what it costs and where to buy it. And I know what it smells like. But that's the thing with postcards. You send out 1 postcard every 90 days and you pray homeowners will call you when their systems fail. It's tough, but don't believe me, I empathize when you call me and you say the phone's on ringing, your guys are standing around, the trucks are in the yard. I can't turn it on unless you authorize me to do an email blast to your list for a $19 drain cleaning special. Call today. There's nothing I can do. Those suicide runs may keep you guys busy, but I remember one large HVAC guy said, Bill, I'd rather bleed than hemorrhage. It's like,
Okay,
well, that's one way to look at it. But so that's why marketing is this 12-month responsibility. So when the shoulder months hit, you've sold memberships all year long. Now you can start doing inspections and keeping your teams busy. Well, we're going to do the plumbing and the electrical inspection in the fall, and we'll do the air conditioning and the, whatever inspections in the spring. Just try to even out that dispatch board. And marketing will not absolutely do it for you, but it will do it. It will help soften that enormous falling off the cliff, in August when, so many homeowners say, "Oof, that air conditioner just barely made it. Well, we dodged that bullet for another year, honey. Let's not worry about it till 2024. Marketing is the key. It's the key.
How does somebody go about starting to put together a 12-month marketing plan? I mean, that seems like such a daunting task. And I'll say from my perspective, I've sat down with my VA a couple times and we put together several months of it, and then tax season hits. And it kind of goes out the door. We don't even think about it again until I come out of tax season. So I'm as guilty of it as the people that you work with.
Okay. The starting point for everybody is budget.
Okay.
What's your number? Everybody's got a number. Take the number, divide it by 4. And every quarter you have committed You absolutely will spend that same amount every quarter. And if anything, you'll increase it the next year. There's budget planning, no magic to it. Once you've committed to a number and you know you can do it every quarter, now we work backwards. And we'll take a look at, are we servicing, remember, existing clients, don't forget them, they'll forget you, and how much prospecting do we want to do? Well, now it tells us, what's the mix going to be between social postings or digital marketing, which is less expensive than direct mail? Or is it typically a mix? One postcard every quarter, and the other 2 months of the quarter is a digital post, or social marketing like a post every 3 or 4 days. And we start to back out the different processes and services to find that budget number for clients, and then how many prospects, that's the last number. How many prospects fill in how much money's left in the bucket?
Okay.
So now we know we can always service our clients and X number of prospects in these zips or whatever every quarter. And then the rest is easy. The rest is easy. But if the discussion about money is not the first discussion, you're kidding yourself. And I you know what? I don't want to say I'm tired of speaking to clients, but I have these conversations with so many clients that come to me. They want to do everything and they want to do it all. And I'm with you. But I tell them point blank, if you do this for 1 quarter and then you don't follow up, I'm going to be disappointed, but you know what? You're going to fail. I'm just going to tell you point blank, because I've seen the clients that come to us with all of this momentum, and we really give them all of this information and all of this support and all of this knowledge, and it just fizzles out. They fall victim of the one and done. Oh, I mailed a postcard, nothing happened. You got to mail 1 postcard every quarter for at least a year. Mm-hmm. So the one and done is deadly. It's deadly. It's heartbreaking for us, actually.
Well, I always say the invention of the microwave changed the way we think about things. Walk up to it, 30 seconds later, you've got something. And then and that carries over into businesses. Let's send out 1 mailing and boom, it should work. And it isn't a microwave. It's a slow cooker that's got to cook all day long.
I like that. I like that. I'm going to steal that one. I like that one.
You can steal that one, Bill. This is a slow cooker, not a microwave.
And
you've got to let it simmer, and you've got to keep going in and stirring it, and maybe taste it and add a little something to it or whatever. And then eventually you've got something amazing that comes out at the end of the day.
I'm always learning from you too. This is great.
I think of my little grandma, who's been gone for 15, 20 years now. She had always cooked on an old wood cook stove. She was coming in from that era.
Okay.
And never transitioned over to an electric one. And I remember my dad or somebody taking her a slow cooker, and she had no idea what to do with it. She goes, I plugged it in, I put stuff in, and 15, 20 minutes later, it wasn't done. I don't understand this thing. And just that in her head, that didn't compute. But I think that carries over into modern day people. We're so used to everything being now. I want it now, instead of realizing that some of these things take time.
It does. It does. And marketing is certainly that. It is, the slow cooker. It takes time because, everybody wants to, know, like, and trust. You're not going to send 1 postcard. No one's going to remember who you are. It's just this repetition. It's this constant repetition. And finally, you will break through. And those breakthroughs will either occur on the first phone call because people liked what your messaging was, or their existing contractor let them down. They can't come out for 3 days, and now they're desperate, and you have an opportunity to be the savior and to really, the knight in shining armor, and to really get their family back on track with air conditioner, heater, water. And yeah, so marketing is that constant. I always say when you're shopping in the supermarket, there's music playing. And typically it's music from the 50s and 60s for our generation. And again, it depends what time you go into the supermarket to see what music is playing, because the early shoppers, at least in my supermarket, the 5, 6, 7 a.m. shoppers are my age group. So we're listening to the music from the 50s and the 60s, and we're happy with the cart. This is fun. Yet 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, when the millennials are in there and got to get food on the table, the music is radically different because they want to get them in and out of the store and they do want to appeal to them. It's subliminal. So that's what marketing is. We're marketing to homeowners that all have the same needs and wants, the comfort and safety for the family, and knowing you'll be there. We just have to hope that our clients have the fortitude to stick it out. And then I always hear, yeah, Billy, you were right. The phones are ringing more now. The shoulder months aren't as so deadly. Things are starting to even out. And now we can look to the next plateau. I always say it's kind of like an airline when it takes off. They're cleared to go to a certain altitude, and then the tower, will let them go to the next altitude. They don't jump up to 36,000 feet right out of the airport. They're stepped up because at each need, there is a different requirement. And this is me as a ex-private pilot speaking. So the same thing is with business. You have a budget, and this is where you're going to be, and this is what you're going to do. And once you're comfortable and everything is static and everything is cruising along, let's consider either prospecting in another community or reaching a different demographic or offering more services and go to the next level. Understanding that everything else has to follow that trajectory of profitability. Don't just don't bring on a new service like sewer relining. If you don't have a call for it, don't offer it. Or you're not going to do duct cleaning if you've never gotten a call for it. Again, we'll kind of help people move along. But yeah, the marketing is tough. It's tough to get them to commit to it. But for us, we see this being an easy plan, but not everybody shares that.
Well, I was poking around on your website earlier and enjoying some of the resources and stuff that you have out there and some of the samples of the things that you guys have created. Tell me a little bit more about that whole follow-up thing afterwards. I keep coming back to that because to me, that's probably almost more important than the prospecting. Because if you can keep that customer, the lifetime value of that customer is worth a large amount to you compared to grabbing that person that, yes, their other provider couldn't make it. And so they'll come to you. But if you don't keep them, all you got was that transaction. You didn't get the lifetime value of them. You didn't get the 30, 40, 50, 60, $70,000 that's going to come along behind that.
That is the number.
Yeah. How can they strengthen that side of their business? Because that seems to be an area that most service providers struggle in.
Okay. You know what? You've always heard the cliche, you only have one chance to make a good first impression. When a service expert walks into a home, the homeowner has almost an expectation based on every other service person who's ever walked into their home in the past. Why not change that? Change their perception. We have what we call a homeowner experience pack, and experience is really what we do. We don't go in with music and fanfare and all this stuff. We just treat them with respect and courtesy and letting them understand very clearly with the materials in our hand that we are different. We are unique. We're not going to go away. You can always call us, and we're always going to serve you in the same way. And almost always, every time when that service expert leaves the home, there's no doubt they own the home. So it's that consistent messaging. And again, it's like writing a screenplay. And again, I've started to do some coaching and tell people, when you go into the home, this is what you do, this is what you say. When you sit down with the homeowner after you've done your findings, why the furnace isn't working, this is what you do, what you say. There's a presentation folder you open. You take certain pieces out from the left pocket in a certain sequence because it's the screenplay and it works. You know when to expect the first objection and you know the answer because you know the objection's coming. You go to the right-hand pocket and you start pulling out different pieces. And there's a whole process on how you present this. And then you also go into memberships, you go into other options, asking for the review. There's so many things they can do to show that you're different. It's funny, one of the largest home service providers here in New Jersey serviced me for years. They came out to my home, you know who it was. And I was almost their secret shopper because I was very close to the owners. And I would be blown away. And we did all their marketing material, all their print and everything. So I knew what was coming and I acted surprised and everything. And I would always call the owners and say, you did great, you did fine, everything is there. Secret shopper, it's all good. That company was sold 5 years ago. And I continue to call them because they have all the records on my equipment. And when the service expert came out and he diagnosed what's wrong, he says, oh, you need a condenser on the AC or whatever, you know, a new capacitor. And he puts an iPad in front of me, scribbled my name. He says, okay, I'll be back in 15 minutes. Went away. He came back, changed the equipment, said, okay, thank you. And I said, whoa, wait. That's it? He's like, yeah, it's working, isn't it? And I said, yeah, the air conditioner is working. I said, aren't you going to try to sell me a membership? I was that bold. I said, aren't you going to? No, he says, no, why? Don't you want one? I said, your record should have told you my membership expired last year. And I know if the new company still offered spiffs, I know how much money he would make if he just asked me those words, if I wanted membership. And I said, yes, I know how much money could have been in his pocket. He was more interested in bolting down the driveway and asking me that. So all of the materials, all of the planning that we had with this company and their service team about this homeowner experience pack was completely gone. So do you think I'm going to call that company again?
Probably not.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not, because they don't care. They don't care about me.
Right.
They fixed the equipment, they turned it on, they drove away, they're on to the next homeowner. I almost said
One of my HVAC clients was telling me about a little something extra that they were doing when they went out during their soft times and they were doing maintenance and just checking over units and things like that. They were carrying a pack of all different kinds of batteries with them. And while they were there, they would change the battery in the smoke alarm. They changed the battery in the remote control for their TV or whatever they might have.
Mm-hmm.
They were changing batteries at no cost to the homeowner just because they were already there. Let me help you. Let me do these few things for you. And he said he was getting some amazing results from people calling him and saying, I can't believe your guys just did this. And all it cost him was a couple batteries. They were there already. A couple batteries.
Doing the unexpected.
Yes.
Is certainly going to get the recognition that as soon as the service expert leaves the home, the homeowner picks up the phone and calls the neighbor, the friend, someone from church and says, guess what?
Yes.
Guess what just happened? It's shocking because, you know what, everybody wants to be treated well. And everybody does not want to have a headache from a service company. So to give a referral to your friend, coworker, someone at church, guess what happened? You just saved that person. Oh, so send me the name of the company again, their phone number. So if and when my equipment breaks, I know who to call.
Right, yeah.
Referrals are huge.
Right.
We offer a complete referral program because it is so powerful. So yeah, for us, it's so simple to see how to absolutely ignite a homeowner to be your best salesperson that you don't have to pay a commission to. Yet our referral programs, some of our clients embrace them, some of them don't. Again, we don't get it. You can't spend a couple of bucks.
In my office, we would have taken that battery example and we would have called that creating a wow experience.
Yep.
Because that homeowner was not expecting that.
Yep. We've all been dumbed down to expect nothing. And that's the sad thing. You know, we expect nothing. And anytime someone provides even average service, all of a sudden we're like, oh, thank you so much. Thank you. It's really bad where customer service is gone, but that's good. That's the opportunity for the good customer service companies to really get the spotlight and get the attention of a homeowner or a prospect or an existing client of how darn good home service can be. And
we
it
always
can be
say
extraordinary.
We always say the bar is set so low. All you have to do is just step over it. You don't have to jump. You don't have to pole vault. You just got to step over it. And you can make a huge impact out there in your world, whether it's roofing, electrician, HVAC, plumbing, landscape. It doesn't matter what it is, but just step over the bar. Do a little something extra.
Yep.
and people will remember you and they'll talk about you and you'll get the social buzz that you're wanting, that type of thing.
Yep. We think it's just so darn easy, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, Bill, here comes my favorite question in all my podcast interviews. Everything that I do in my office is all about creating more profit. How do we find hidden profit leaks? How do we look beyond just the P&L and the balance sheet? How do we dig in and find these creative ways where profits are silently leaking out of a business? And I know you come in contact with thousands of businesses over the years. So what is the most unique profit leak that you've seen in your dealing with home service businesses?
We always seem the same problem where HVAC, plumbers, electrical companies completely turn their back on their existing clients.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely turn their back. As I said earlier, oh, they'll remember us. There's a sticker on the furnace. When they need us, they'll call us. You forget them, they're going to forget you. And as I said earlier, the thank you postcard program that we offer is 74 cents a piece. In other words, every Monday you send us your service list of what services you provided, and your postcards are in the mail Tuesday morning.
Wow.
So a week after you were in the home, the homeowner gets this fully variable data postcard with all of the information and a coupon for the next time they call for service. And that value of the coupon, again, with variable data printing, if they spend $10,000, you tell us to put in a $100 coupon or whatever, the coupon value will always change. They won't even spend 74 cents to say, thank you, really, we really do appreciate that. They won't even spend 74 cents. They completely turn their backs on people. So letting those customers just walk away or get siphoned off, it's just absolutely heartbreaking. I don't understand it. When we do direct mailings and someone will send us their client list, how come the list is static? You had 9,000 homeowners last quarter's newsletter, and we do email newsletters and print newsletters, but you had 9,000 homeowners that we mailed to out in March. Why is your list still $9,000 after July? Should be 9,100, 92, any positive growth. And it's really discouraging when it just sort of plateaus. So when your client list comes to us, that speaks volumes. That means that your marketing sensibility has plateaued for whatever reason. You don't have the budget, you don't have the headspace, you don't have the team, you don't think you need it, you don't want to grow the business. We've had some clients that don't want to add more trucks. They're happy. All right, fine. Then we'll back off. But when your client list speaks volumes to us when it comes in every quarter, not that everybody has to be aggressive and watch this huge growth every time, more and more and more. But the bigger you are, in theory, you're more profitable. And we always say, stop letting your customers go. Just send out an email newsletter. It costs pennies. We have a newsletter product that literally costs pennies to send out. And yet, I mean, we do all the work and they can't afford to spend pennies.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's really where it's heartbreaking. Don't let your customers go.
That is a good one. And it's one I've not heard from my other podcast guests. So thank you for sharing a nice, unique one that I can add to my growing list of unique profit leaks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's really heartbreaking.
it is. Well, Bill, thank you so much for this amazing information that you've shared with us today. If people want to learn more about PrintFast, and I'm sure they do after listening to this episode,
Okay.
what's the best way for them to contact you?
Well, you can email me, and I'll give you my email address. I'm going to be happy to respond. It's bill@print-fast.com. That hyphen is very important. And they're certainly welcome to call us at 800-810-4818. A live person will pick up the phone in 2 rings. Just ask for Bill. And I will forewarn you, I'm passionate about marketing and I'll talk your ear off unless you tell me to shut up, I got to go. Because I really don't care if you buy from me. I really don't. I want to know at the end of the day that I've done the right thing and that I've maybe helped someone. giving them some insight that marketing, they're not ready for marketing, or they have a very small budget. I don't care. I just want to know that I helped you out in some way that you can then empower your company and tell your employees, don't worry about sending your kid to college or getting a new car loan. It all filters down. So for us, I'm not worried about the sales. This just isn't that type of company. We don't hit you over the head and come on, sign off your proof. Let's send out 10,000 postcards. No, we're happy to talk to you. And if a sale comes from us because you know, like, and trust us, good, we've done our job. And hopefully we have a customer for life. But we think it's simple, but yeah, people can call us all the time.
Well, great. Thank you again, Bill. And we're going to say this is a wrap for this episode of the Profitable Home Services Podcast. Remember, it's not how much money you make, it's how much money you keep. Go ahead and grab a free digital copy of my book, Your Path to Profits, and you can see it right up there above my head, sitting on the shelf up there. In this book, I share 9 profit boosting tactics that will transform your service business. You can get your free copy at yourpathtoprofitsbook.com. Thank you again for joining us. And Bill, thank you again for being on our program today.
It has been my pleasure. Hope to see you soon.